Council meeting for Tuesday, September 7th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just on a sidebar, persistent to Minnesota Statute 13D.02, Councilmember Gordon will be participating in this meeting from Uncle Buck's Coffee Shop inside Bass Pro Shops at 7970 Northfield Boulevard in Denver, Colorado. Good Lord, he's a ways away. The public can view the City Council meeting in person or visit the website that will be listed on the city's website. Doing roll call, all council members are present, including Councilman Gordon via Zoom. Any public comment at this time?
Mayor, you will have to take attendance by roll call.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Wood. I have to do attendance roll call, so...
Councilman Paul Burgley here.
Thank you.
Steve Lundin here.
Dan Collison here.
James Gordon
here.
Councilman Gordon. Councilman Gordon. Maybe he's getting a coffee. I'm glad we did the attendance. Jeff Johnson here. There, now we're still waiting on Councilman Gordon.
Excellent.
Miss Wood's typing, so I know she's talking via text. Anyone? Anyone? I wish I knew that teacher's name. I know it was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Mayor, I believe that we could move on and Councilman Gordon can announce his presence once he arrives on audio.
He
to
just
show
hit
for the
something
record.
in chat. Is that you or him?
That was me.
Okay. Well, hopefully we're all here. Any public comment for no one? I have a motion to adopt the agenda. However, we do have amendment L5, which is a finalization of the, now I'm blanking what it is, Ms. Wood. Thank you.
It's the extension of the final plat for Brewery Green South.
And L6.
We'll be approving the offer to Keith Less for position of liquor store manager.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion to accept by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor need to state their name and say aye.
Paul Burgley, aye.
Steve Lundin, aye.
Dan Collison, aye.
And any Councilman Gordon yet? Moving along. Approval of city council minutes for August 17th, which is a regular meeting of city council. August 17th as well, which is a committee of a whole, and August 17th as well, which was a budget work session. June 15th, a planning commission meeting, and July 27th, park, recreation, and culture board meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor say aye.
Paul Burgley, aye.
Steve Lundin, aye.
Dan Collison, aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'm just tallying the votes for 4-0 right now, because
Correct.
I don't know if he's here right now, so.
That is correct, Mayor. Thank you.
Announcements. Committee of a whole meeting will be Tuesday, September 21st at 5 p.m. City Council meeting will also be Tuesday, September 21st at 7 p.m. And a planning commission meeting will also be Tuesday, September 21st, immediately following that city council meeting. Any council committee reports? None at this time. Let's move on to business items. K1, resolution approving a conditional use permit for the microbrewery located at 801 Highway 65. Ms. Wood. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Selman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In order to operate a microbrewery in the state of Santee, you need a conditional use permit. The applicant has applied for a conditional use permit. It was heard before the Planning Commission on August 17th. The Planning Commission recommended approval with 2 conditions. There were no comments at the public hearing, and just to note that they are moving their current operation to the 801 Highway 65.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, state your name and say aye.
Paul Burgley, aye.
Steve Lundin, aye.
Dan Collison, aye.
And Jeff Johnson, aye. Opposed, same sign.
When's it gonna open?
You need to get warmed up.
Of what year?
You still have the current location open at least? No. Oh, come on, Warren, you're killing us. We'll have to anxiously await. Resolution approving the site plan for the dental clinic and commercial tenant building located at 401 Cherrywood Street Northeast, where the fake pizza ranch is going.
Maybe it'll be a combo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before you use the site plan for the dental clinic, this was heard before the Planning Commission on August 17th. Planning Commission recommended approval with conditions. Since the Planning Commission meeting, the applicant has taken those conditions into consideration and revised their site plan accordingly. So if you'll notice the packet it is a little bit different than what Planning Commission saw, but they did incorporate our conditions. So the updated plan shows a new location for the curb cut, a reverse floor plan for the dental office and commercial space, the tenant on the side, and then the parking area on the east of the building. They relocated the trash enclosures, removed the drive-through, and extended that lane for fire code requirements. Staff's recommending approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor, state your name and say aye.
Paul Burgley, aye.
Steve Lundin, aye.
Dan Collison, aye.
Jeff Johnson, aye. Still no Jimmy.
Mayor Johnson, if I may, Councilman Gordon has chimed in and sent me a message that his internet is not strong enough, so it keeps booting him off. We'll leave it up though throughout the meeting, but it does not appear that he's going to be able to make it for the meeting as his internet is not strong enough at his location.
Fair enough. Then we don't have to do the ayes anymore, correct? Can we?
Individually?
Individually? Or would you like us to keep practicing that, Ms. Wood?
Mayor, because there's no other attendees on the Zoom, I don't think it's necessary.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution approving the preliminary and final plat for a Sandy liquor store.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before you is the preliminary and final plat for the Isanti Liquor Store. That would be the new liquor store location. We're calling the plat the Isanti Liquor Store. We're creating a new lot so that we can sell that lot. The Planning Commission held the public hearing on August 17th. No one from the public had comment. Staff recommends approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's waiting for him to say Paul Burgley.
Oh.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Resolution approving to list Lot 2, Block 1, Isanti Liquor Store for sale.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So since we just approved the subdivision, now we need you to approve us to list that parcel for sale. That's the smaller piece on the north side that we just created. The appraisal did come back at $70,000 for that vacant lot. Staff is requesting approval to list it. Also, what parameters do you want us to list it under for the $70,000? Do you want to have it open for a certain period of time? Then we'll review any bids that we get in. What kind of parameters do you want to set up? We can set it, let's just say we said all bids by October 1st. We could look and see, and if there wasn't anything that we liked, we could relist it again. There's no rules about that.
So we can list that at 75,000 as is, but what if, I know Councilman Undine had asked you if they could move that pond, or I guess Mr. Cook, I'd ask you what, I mean,
Sure,
obviously
so-
they're gonna pay for that, right?
Right, so right now, there's actually a couple different easements on that parcel. One for the sewer that's extended onto it, and another for the storm pipe and pond that's on it. Whoever would choose to buy it would have to evaluate the vacating of the easement for the sewer, so they could put their building there. And then if they wanted to move the storm, they would have to go about modifying that easement and moving the storm pond however they felt they needed to for that development.
So maybe we just list it as is, and then if somebody brings it up, then we revisit it, I guess?
Yeah, we would definitely list it as is, but I was just asking what type of listing parameters did you want to put on it? Did you want to put a deadline, leave it open-ended? What I've done in the past is, we'll say, okay, we'll accept bids, just say October 1st. Then we'll take a look at it, bring forward what we have. If you want to go with that, go with that. If not, we just list it again, keep it open. Just kind of looking for some guidelines on what you would like me to do.
I think,
I don't care if it's listed as listed, and if somebody comes up and wants to buy it, I just don't see it bringing it up to relist it again or forcing anybody to come in on a deadline. Because if somebody's gonna be interested in it, they're gonna wanna make an offer on it right away anyway. So I personally don't think we need to put any deadline on it, just list it until it sells.
I agree.
Okay, and when
Kinda
we
like the
get
other
an offer,
properties.
you want to bring it right back to council right away, or what do you want to do with that?
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't wanna delay them any longer than they have to. So I make a motion to approve.
Just to
Oops.
clarify, Mayor, you said 75,000, the appraisal was 70, so what do you want me to list it at?
oops, that was my error.
So 70?
It's appraised value.
Yeah,
Okay, I just need verification.
yeah, that
Yep.
was my error, sorry.
Okay,
Yep. Make a motion to approve
Second.
listing it for 70,000.
Motion to approve to list at 70,000, second by, motion was made by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Resolution approving a letter of credit adjustment for Legacy Pines first, second, and third editions.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're rounding out Legacy Pines. They're finishing up the third phase, so now they're asking for some adjustments in their letter of credit. We've outlined a table in your packet. The city engineer put that together, and look at the total held column, and that's what we're suggesting that we hold their letter of credits at.
You're gonna make me look way down there, no?
Right?
Jason, is that what they're looking for? I mean, is they be happy with that?
Yeah, I believe so. He was in the past just submitting what he had paid his contractor to do the work, and now that we're getting to the end, we're looking at more just what is supposed to be held, per the development agreement. So it's basically lowering a few of these to the kind of the lowest they're supposed to get to go through warranty, or just what remaining minor work is left. I think the only real costly work is the wear course on Eagle Street, and that we're still holding the full amount of the letter of credit for until it's done next spring.
And I think we've done this for them before too. We adjusted it, so
Yep.
I'm fine with what you think is right, Jason. I think we all pretty much go by what you think anyway, so I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. K6 is interview applicant for vacant Park, Recreation, and Culture Board seat. I understand we have that young lady in the audience. If she wouldn't mind stepping forward, please. Just come to the podium here. State your name and address for the record, please. You gotta turn your microphone on so it turns green. Perfect. I think you've done this before.
My name is Tressa Hunting. My address is 1260 Delaware Street, Cambridge, Minnesota.
So before anybody asks, 1/3 of our park and recreation can be somebody outside of the city, as long as the rest of the seats are filled by residents.
If you, I don't know, Paul, you probably remember, there was, Dave England was on, I think, he was on Planning Commission?
Yep, he was chairman of it.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Planning Commission, he does not live in the city either, and that,
1/3.
it's 1/3, so.
Yep.
Well, he was asked to leave because he wasn't in the city.
No,
Yeah, he was. George,
So the planning commission, was changed in, the bylaws that they would be no longer outside and they would make up council and then 2 members within city limits at large. So that was a change. Therefore, he no longer meet the criteria because no one outside of city limits could participate any longer at the planning commission.
that was just planning commission then, not
It
the
was just
park?
planning commission.
Okay.
yeah.
Let us know when groundbreaking's over there at the dental office. Let us know when groundbreaking's happening.
They are gonna start staking it out on Wednesday.
Let us know. We'll come over there and shovel it in with you.
Okay, sounds good, yeah.
Thank you.
How about any of the other commissions, EDA, that type of stuff?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How about any of the other ones?
It can all be 1/3. We could have 1/3.
Well, she just said planning commission cannot.
Well, planning
Oh,
commission
that's
no
because it
longer
was
can be
changed.
because
You're
it was
right.
changed.
You're right.
And also, that was at the time that it went to being most of, council members, making up the bulk of that.
Yep.
Instead of all members at large, which is what it had previously been.
And that's the same with EDA, because that's makes, the council makes up the majority of it, so when you have 2 people from in town.
Seemed like we had 5 members from the general public and only 2.
Yeah.
It was you.
That's the way it used to be.
That's what
We'll
it used to be.
revisit that.
Well, I'm just asking, I wasn't trying to make it an issue, I was just
No,
trying
no,
to,
no,
I was
I-
just trying to understand.
No,
Right,
no,
and
but
I'm with
that's
ya.
the way it was, those were those, but Park and Rec Board, there's only 1 member of council on the Park and Rec Board.
Okay. I was just wondering if any of the other boards were that way, that's
Yeah,
all.
Mr. Mayor, if I may. EDA is the 5 council member, 2 at large. They don't have to live here, but they have to have a business here.
Okay. Thank you.
Now let this young lady get to her, she's up there waiting very patiently.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We've given you 5 questions, and hopefully you had time to look over those. I'm just gonna ask you the questions, you answer them freely, and we'll keep moving on. What is the Park and Recreation Board's role?
So I looked at the mission a little bit, maintaining and acquiring the parks, expanding the parks, providing parks and recreational activities, focus on culture, and providing a natural resource system that's sustainable, equitable, accessible, while improving overall quality of life, taking into account the future growth of Isani and health benefits.
I focused on the equitable. That's all I was like, oh, she's in. No. Number 2, what is your vision of the park and recreation system for the city?
So I'm a social worker, so it's important to me that it's all-inclusive and accessible system for all to acquire a sense of community. Again, with a focus on diversity, since we all experience the parks, recreation, and culture in a different way. Mission and vision alignment, again, providing recreational activities while increasing overall well-being.
Wow.
Number 3, do you have experience in the park and recreation or park and recreation member experience?
I don't have, experience as a member experience. I'm trying to get that right now. I have experience planning in the community, at the community level, like public places, facilities, and services, like for a line of health, like Change to Chill, to increase, healthy lifestyle for children around the area. I say any too, not just Cambridge,
Awesome. Do you volunteer within the Isani community currently?
Yeah, highway cleanup, Earth Day cleanup, family pathways, mobile food shelf, some of the Isani senior dining when we can do that in person, and then rodeo and Jubilee face painting.
That's
Some
where I
minimal
know you
stuff.
from. I was like, I know this face from somewhere, and I couldn't picture it where.
Well,
No.
she should have painted yours, it probably would have improved.
It was my daughter, Smarty Pants.
Where do
Last
you find
question.
time to sleep?
Last question, can you attend evening meetings that start at 6 o'clock?
Yep.
Any other questions by the council? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second simultaneously by Collison and Burgley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Welcome to Park and Rec.
Thank you.
K7, resolution approving the brewery, or the brewer off-sale and tap room on sale Sunday license applicant for Thunder Brothers Microbrewery at 801 Highway 65 Northeast.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. We did have Thunder Brothers Brewery inform us that they were moving to a new location, which is at 801 Highway 65 Northeast. They submitted all the required documentations for the change of their location and how it affects their liquor license. They had already received a renewal for liquor license on March 2nd of this year, and Planning Commission reviewed the applicant's materials on August 17th, and they recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by
No,
Councilman Burgley.
He said it first.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
I didn't even hear you. You're just in your own world over there tonight. You all right?
I'll scream.
Yeah, just scream, hey, it's Dan over here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. K8, resolution approving termination of VFW park lease agreement. Look at that. Ms. Olson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So in the May 18th COW meeting, Council discussed the standing lease agreement with the VFW Park and the opportunity to remove that from the city's property, or Sandy Park's property. The recommendation was to terminate the lease and donate the property to the VFW. Upon discussion with the VFW, they have declined that offer and would instead like us to remove the property, or remove the playground equipment and any of the park equipment from the property. So that is what we're requesting here today, is approval to terminate that lease. Public Works would remove the playground equipment, all park equipment, discontinue any contract services that we have over there at the end of the season, and put all of the intact equipment up for public auction.
Motion to approve.
That's too bad.
Well,
I was
what
just
are we
gonna
gonna
say,
do?
any discussion on this?
Yeah, I
before
haven't
we-
discussed, what do we do with the equipment? I mean, we obviously auction off, I heard that, but do we have to? I mean, can we just leave it over there? Is it our property or theirs?
No, it's theirs.
It's
We
their
lease it.
property.
Oh, it's their
We
property.
lease it.
Oh, we lease it, okay.
So that's what we're doing, is we're gonna terminate the lease, remove the equipment, sell it off, and hopefully gain a little bit of money for the rest of the park.
Because because of that park equipment needs to be updated, it's gonna cost us a lot of money to do that.
Okay. Well,
That was the whole object of, just say, hey, you can have it.
Right,
And it
but they
didn't
don't
work.
want it, yeah. Okay, I'll second that then.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. K9, the resolution setting the 2022 final budget and levy meeting.
Yep,
Mr.
sounds
Becker.
good.
And Mayor Johnson, before Mr. Becker takes over and he has his presentation he's going to bring up, I'm going to close down the Zoom since we will no longer have anyone participating. If that's permitted.
Sounds good to me. Hi, Mr. Becker.
Sounds good, Mike. Motion to approve.
I'll second it. Let's move along.
Well, I have to point out at least a few things. This is the short version. The December one is the one where
Did you
I-
get his?
Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny is Mr. Becker and I, we have quite a few, like Ms. Wood and I, we have quite a few discussions. And the past discussion we're in, Mr. Becker says, Councilman Lundin just seems to want to just keep pushing me right out of there every time I have a presentation. I said, well, Mike, it's because he trusts what you do here, and he's like, yeah, but he's got to understand, I got to do this stuff. So we chuckled about
Can you
that.
say it in 3 words? I gotta listen to my wife on financing. That I don't have any choice in.
You might learn something if you just zip it and pay attention.
Well, I take it as a compliment. I appreciate that.
It's the trust, Mike.
And
Every
It
one
is.
of us trusts you.
It
I do
is.
appreciate that. That is not lost on me. There are many councils that don't feel that way about their finance director, so I do appreciate it.
So do you want to do all these separately, or do you want to just bunch them all in one hole? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna run through some of there's only one substantive change, but just to make council council aware of the changes that we've had since our last budget work session, you know, compared to what's in here versus what we looked at then. I'll give the very brief for anybody that's watching or is going to watch on YouTube, the components, and then you can do them one at a time in order, or you can do all three together.
Take it away.
All right, so tonight we're setting the, approving the preliminary budget and setting the preliminary levy. We can change anything we want about the budget going forward, but after this meeting, we cannot make the levy go higher. We can make it go lower at the December meeting, but it cannot go higher. Let's go over. Components on the municipal budget. If you want to be able to manage the fiscal, if you want good fiscal management at the municipal level, you got to be able to understand the components of the budget, how they operate, why they're important, and where your durable competitive advantage is. First category, operating revenues and expenses. We're talking about general fund levy, rates, short-term expenses. Competency on that is pretty easy. It's not real hard to figure out what your contract amounts are. It's not real hard to figure out what your telephone bill was over the last 6 months. That's pretty easy stuff. Everybody should be good at that. And I say everybody, I mean all cities should be able to do that effectively. Intergovernmental revenue and expenses. There we're talking about grants and LGA. LGA in Minnesota is the big thing. Other states will have different versions of that. The expense is going to be regulations and legislation as dictated. Here, everybody should be competent again because of the legal requirements. Capital projects. Here, we're talking about potentially levies, potentially rates. We're looking at a 10 to 20 year horizon. And most cities are going to be good at this simply because they're going to pay their engineers a bunch of money to be good at it. That's how that works. Jason knows that. The last category, ample maintenance and replacement. I think this is where most cities struggle mightily. Most finance directors don't really get how important this is. Again, you're paying for this stuff through levies and rates, and you should be looking at least a 20-year time horizon. Most cities do 5 years or even less. And because of that, it's difficult. It's a lot of work to do it, and turn your mic towards you. It's difficult to do. A lot of places don't want to do it, and to be looking out 20 or like I'll present 20 years, but I'll forecast up to 40. Most cities, most finance departments just don't do that work, and that's where we gain our marginal competitive advantage.
Mr. Becker, just 1 more minute, please.